When you wish upon a meme, the da 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 gleam. When you frick! It just rolled the intro. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. Harley Skellington here with another commentary. A little while ago at the ever-exciting D23 Expo, the posters for Pixar's future sequels were revealed, and much hype ensued. For the most part. Either way, these sequels shall be the topic of discussion today, since YouTube user I'm a Fan will kindly demonstrate why you do some amounts of research before making a rant.
Hey guys, my name's Abby and I'm a fan of Disney, but I'm not really a fan of Disney sequels. Now of course this is going to depend on the film and depend on the sequel, but overall Disney sequels, quite infamously, are pretty bad. Which is why I kind of find it really funny that everyone went nuts when all of the most recent Disney sequels were announced. And by that I mean the ones that are coming up. This is 2015, most of them are coming up in 2016 and beyond. But people went nuts at the announcement of some of these, and honestly, I don't get it.
Alright, let's just get this out of the way right off the bat. You want to know why those sequels are so infamously bad? Well, gather round, kiddies, because I'm going to tell you about Disney Toon Studios. These guys were mainly in charge of Disney's earlier animated television shows, and thus, when they were put in the role of creating feature-length sequels, prequels, or midquels to big-budget Disney movies, let's just say they were a little outside of their comfort zone. Heck, some of the quote-unquote movies were just 3 or so episodes of a failed TV show slapped together into one product. So in the long run, what we got ranged from to a complete insult to the original source material. What have they been up to nowadays? Yeah, you get my point. Anyway, what does this have to do with Pixar and their sequels? Well, simply put, that studio has been making these films with theatrical budgets and a crew of people who have already proven that they can make sequels and they can make them good. Let me tell you, if the same studio behind this was in charge of this, the reaction would be turned upside down from what it is now.
Some of them I get, some of them I feel like do need a follow-up, but others, not so much. Finding Dory, a sequel to Finding Nemo, which really doesn't need a sequel, it's fine as a self-contained film. Incredibles 2, a sequel to the film Incredibles, very unique film for Disney and rather strange foreshadowing to their recent Marvel run, but overall, again, a very self-contained film. Whilst there are elements that can turn into a sequel, unless it's done by the same people, it could very easily be a flop.
Oh my gosh, it is going to be made by the same people! You yourself said that there are elements that can turn into a sequel and be done okay if they were made by the same people. Well, there you go! Ding ding ding, you're correct, that is exactly what is happening! The hype train has a reason to keep chugging along its merry way! Choo-choo! Also, just because a film in itself works when it's self-contained, that doesn't mean a sequel or even a prequel isn't possible. Finding Nemo is good. Very good. And if Pixar is creative enough to pull off a sequel that makes sense, then there you go. The studio has shown enough promise for more people to not really be doubting it as much.
And of course, the much anticipated Cars 3. Because of course, the previous Cars films and Planes films were so great. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm being really negative. I guess it's just that given Disney's pedigree in terms of sequels, I'm not that excited.
Okay, I don't know what corners of the internet you've been looking in, but very few people are legitimately excited about Cars 3.
So what do I mean by their pedigree? Well, take a look. Mulan on Rotten Tomatoes has an audience score of 84%. Mulan 2, 43%.
Okay, we're not going to sit through her making all these comparisons because I think my main point is clear by now.
And of course, Cars. Yeah.
Wait, the first one is certified fresh.
Also, sorry if you don't like that I'm going off the audience scores instead of the tomatometer, I think, scores. I just kind of find it more interesting to see what the audience thinks rather than critics. Because in the end of the day, the audience are the people who matter.
Even though critics have a large influence on if audiences are even going to see the movie in the first place.
Okay, just to prove I'm not hating on Disney sequels, there are 2 in particular, technically 3, that I think are really good. First is The Rescuers Down Under, sequel to The Rescuers, and oh my god, if anything it just improves on it. It's such a good film and honestly more people should see it. Second and third Toy Stories 2 and 3, both fantastic follow-ups. Yeah, you could argue that the third one was a little corny, but it makes me cry every time and I don't care.
You know, I find it ironic that you name Toy Story 2 and 3 as great sequels in the same video in which you say,
overall, again, a very self-contained film. Whilst there are elements that can turn into a sequel, unless it's done by the same people, it could very easily be a flop. Interestingly enough, Toy Story is another one of those ones that's getting a sequel, and no, I'm sorry, but Toy Story 3 was such a good ending. It worked so great as a trilogy. And as good as the fourth one is going to be, because I'm sure it's going to be a good film.
but didn't he have bad pedigree?
I don't think it's going to add anything. It's just going to be a nice little extra. If it adds something, then great. Same goes for Frozen 2, because of course there's a Frozen 2.
Nope, I refuse to let Frozen haunt me further. Skip!
So what do you guys think? Are you excited with these upcoming sequels? Are you a bit nervous like me? Are you a bit tentative? I feel like I've been nervous for pretty much everything that I've talked about on this channel so far. I'll try and talk about something a bit more positive next time. So let me know what you think of this video and what you think of the other Disney sequels. Which one's your favourite and which do you think should not exist? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
So what did I think of this video? Well, if you aren't excited for the Pixar sequels, cool. If you want to make a rant about how you aren't excited for the Pixar sequels, also cool. But treating 3 different animation studios, Disney, Disney Toon, and Pixar, as one single entity behind every sequel, prequel, or midquel in existence presents a huge flaw in your reasoning. Speaking of Disney, though... Dad!
What?
Dad, let's go to Disney World.
We don't have the money.
Disney World, Dad!
It says like this, I question my life decisions.